Well, hello and welcome to the CSI 4-Star here in Guadalajara. For the last couple of days, we've seen some great sport, not only with those who are looking ahead towards Omaha, and of course the Longines FEI World Cup qualifier on Saturday, but also some of our younger riders as well with the FEI Children's International Classics final. And in fact, we're going to be live streaming the final for the Children's tomorrow. And it's a really interesting competition we've got this afternoon as well, because this is a 1m45 competition. We saw this on the opening day here at the show, and yesterday it was all the focus was on those riders who will be coming forward in Saturday's big one. But here this afternoon, well, it is a jump-off competition. So all our athletes will be coming in the first round, and it's a really strong field here this afternoon. Just having a look at the start list, there's 49 advertised to start. So they all come forward in the first round, and then of course any equality for first place after round one, well, that takes us to a jump off against the clock, and that's where we'll see them really push on and of course try and be the fastest clear to be crowned the winner. 1m45 in height is the track, and quite a decent prize fund here this afternoon. It's $35,000 in the Pascal Brothers Cup. And having a look down our start list, we've got some of the names actually who we have seen in the 1m50 division. Nicholas Pizarro, Patricio Pascual, of course, him and his brother both there, Francisco. Juan Pablo Jimenez is here, Rodrigo Lambre. So a few of the riders that of course you see on the international stage at various venues around the world. But as you can see there, a couple of horses stretching their legs, and you saw the football or soccer pitch that they were walking on, because of course we are here at the Guadalajara Country Club, and the facilities are just fantastic. But there's your start list on screen now, just having a look at some of the riders who are going to be featuring here this afternoon. As we mentioned, Antonio Maira, he's been on great form. Rodrigo Lambre with Chacal, horse that's really been going well. Yesterday, if you were with us, you'll remember it was a great win for Jaime Azcárraga, and he'll be here, but his son's also here as well. Andres Azcárraga, and you can see him jumping in 20th position. He's Alejandro Plasencia. We saw him at Spruce Meadows over the summertime last year. Just some great riders, and you know, this is only the second year that Mexico has played host to a Longines FEI World Cup jumping qualifier, and it really is an area that's just growing and growing. They've always been known for producing great horses and of course some great riders as well, but the amount of competitions that are based here now just continue to keep growing and growing. Jackie McFarlane's sitting alongside me here this afternoon. Jackie, it's been a great show so far.
Yes, it's been a great event. As I said yesterday, the weather continues to be ideal. The courses have been a great test, and yesterday was nice the way that Olaf set the course where the riders could choose to take a track that they knew they would have time faults, but they were able to take a good tour around the ring, but there was still a competitive jump off. And today I think they'll probably be the same, quite a competitive jump off, since we have a big list of some of the top riders here in Mexico. And when you say that, it truly now has quite an international aspect to it, because a number of them still do a bit of traveling and have experience internationally.
Well, we saw the weather on screen there a second ago, and it's 26 degrees today. It's lovely and warm. For any of the horses that aren't based full-time in Mexico and perhaps have just come down for somewhere a little bit cooler, is there anything that the riders will be doing, to prepare them for the heat and competing in the heat?
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is really considered heat.
It is if you're from Britain. This is tropical.
I think in this particular case, most of the horses, are wintering somewhere similar to this. And I think that holds true for most of the horses competing over the winter here, Wellington, etc. That said, some of the riders we've spoken to, this is one of their first shows of the season, but
Sure.
Their horses have been taking time off, but probably not in winter places.
In winter, anywhere cold. They want to be warm. Yeah. We can see the warm up there. Of course, the whole team have been fantastic at the show, including the stewards, and you can see a few of them out there just making sure everything is as it should be. And we'll be underway in just a few moments' time. But as we were saying a little bit earlier, the facilities here are fantastic. And, we're in a country club. There's a golf course. There's some tennis courts. the football pitch, which we saw the horses warming up on a little bit earlier. And it really seems to be a nice part of Mexico.
It's beautiful. We've done quite a bit of walking. You can walk from actually the hotel where we're staying. And the places we pass are quite lovely, and it's very pleasant. And I think it's the second largest city in Mexico, but the street that the hotels are on is quite busy. But it's very clean and quiet. Generally, when we're walking around the neighborhoods, it's a very enjoyable experience. I recommend it.
Everyone seems really friendly. The only thing I did find, though, is we went out for dinner last night, and some of the people I was with were eating grasshoppers, crickets, and ants' eggs. I mean, obviously I had steak and potatoes, that went without saying. I was going to be adventurous, but I managed not to be.
Well, I wasn't with you for that experience. However, we've had some really excellent food just across the street from the hotel, and everything from Mexican to hamburgers to Italian. So we've been eating well, and here in the VIP, which is on the screen now, the food is quite good, and they have I don't know what you've ventured into, but we've had
prime rib.
We've had some lovely ceviche and guacamole. And
maybe today will be the day.
Yes.
I'll have some nachos or something.
You're going to go all out,
I'm going to go all out. I'm going to be adventurous. Today's the day to be adventurous. So you've been here since Tuesday. You've had a chance to see the 1 meter 45, I think, on Wednesday. How have the riders been going?
There were two classes on Wednesday, and everything's been going quite smoothly. I think, as far as the results and how things have gone can be found on the Longines timing site if you want to know the details. But there's what I'm impressed with is that it's clearly strong Mexican contingency here, and yet the competition is quite strong. There's a large number in the classes. What do we have in today's class?
49 coming forward today.
Yes, and so that's an impressive group of horses coming forward in a class like this, which again I think reflects the fact that the FEI they've stepped up and offered a lot more FEI events, and that they're supporting, the riders are supporting these events and rising to the occasion, as well as happy to have this available to them. And I think when we spoke to Rodrigo Lambra yesterday, he said that he was going to stay here for a couple of months, and that means that he has good enough events to do that here.
Which is great news for Mexico, great news for the sport as well. It's a really increasing area in the world of show jumping, but we're set and we get underway. It is the $35,000 Pascal Brothers Cup, and it is Miguel Maron who gets us underway with the BV Projects Edinburgh. This is a 17-year-old stallion by Nimidor. It's got quite a lot of experience under its belt. They've been together for a couple of years, and that's fence number one that gets us underway, that orange and green oxer. Down there on 23 metres towards that kind of wall, but it's got really delicate blocks on top. From here, it's round towards fence number 3. Quite a skinny upright, yeah. Then down there on a sharp 5 strides towards fence 4, those blue and white rails. Bit of a curve down there, that's the Longines double, the upright coming in, oxer coming out. And then straight on down that related distance to the uprights at 6. Coming around the corner now, this is the Longines oxer. Of course, our signature sponsor when we get towards Saturday. Left-handed, big treble barn here, and you've got to watch this plank.
Delicate plank.
I think that's going to be the line that might just catch a few out. Bit of a roll back here, right towards the Audi Oxer. And then it's to the combination. 1 stride, and then 2 strides.
Oh.
And the front rail comes down over the final part. 1 fence to come down, that's the last. And he finishes on 8 for jumping,
and
1 for
time.
Of course, time very much part of the test in these competitions. It's been measured, this track, at 420 metres, and they're going to be travelling at 375 metres a minute, which means the time allowed here is 68 seconds. Of course, under international rules, they'll be assessed 1 fault for every 4 seconds or part thereof in the first round, and then it reverts back to 1 for 1 when we get towards a jump off. And I think with the number of starters, we're going to have, I don't know, somewhere around 8 adding through.
You're thinking that we're going to have a jump off of 8 after that first ride? I'm going to give it 3 rides before I give you my guess
chicken.
on that.
This is Antonio Maura who comes forward next. Antonio, of course, who we see all over the place. Charon's the name of this 10-year-old gelding by Jacko Blue. This is a horse he knows really, really well. We saw him at Spruce Meadows, had a great 5-star win back in July last year. I think it's fair to say he's been producing a lot of horses here in Mexico.
That's an easy 5. Again, it's a matter of, I think in this class they're going to want to make the time allowed and make the jump off. So they're going to need to figure out the track accordingly, unless he changes that time.
I'm sure Antonio would have been watching Miguel, and after he finished with that time fault, that's probably in the back of his mind as he came in. Might just change the game plan slightly.
Oh, I heard that come down, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, he's on 4 at this stage. Time-wise, well, he's going to be inside. 67-64, so just the one rail coming down in his 4 jumping faults there for Charon.
Okay,
And Antonio Maura.
67-64, that's close. With this many horses in it, my guess is he's not going to change it.
I would, no. Olaf Peterson, of course, our course designer here. Junior, yes. Although senior is still going. I did a show with him in Beijing last year. Manuel Golaz comes forward next. Manuel Gonzalez with the 9-year-old mare. It's a KWPN, this Durwell's VDL. Regularly competes here in Mexico. He's jumped up to World Cup level in the past. To him to be our first clear here today. Really like this horse, he's dappling.
I noticed that. Haven't seen a lot of the dapple grays. It's always attractive. I'm always drawn to that. Oh. It's nice when they jump clear.
Yeah.
Even if they have dapples.
Exactly.
This one also has a little motor. When the way it goes. It's nice for counting your rhythm. You can hear it holds its breath when it leaves the ground.
Time-wise, he's going to be absolutely fine, isn't he?
Oh.
But the last comes down as well, so it's 8 jumping faults in the end, and we have a look at the time, 65-84, so plenty of time there. But sadly, 2 rails fall, and he finishes on 8. So 3 horses have gone. That would be the stage where the jury loses the right to change the time allowed. So the time allowed will be remaining at 68. But are you ready to tell us how many clears?
Yeah, I think we'll have. You said 8, right?
I said 8.
Yeah, so I can't pick 8. I'm going to say, well, they say that a course is well designed when, I believe it's 15% are clean.
If you say so.
I believe that's the number. So
You're going to go and do your sums now.
So let's see if I can do the math.
Tell you what, I'll introduce this one while you use your fingers. Jaime Azcárraga on track then with 4 Fashion, and of course Jaime had a great win yesterday with a different horse. This one's a 12-year-old by For Pleasure, really well bred with Contender on the dam side as well. Have you worked out 15% of 49 yet?
No, I'm gonna go with 10.
You're going to go with 10? Okay. You'll be wrong.
I wasn't wrong much yesterday. Just
Well, that's true.
this might be the first of our 10. Definitely going fast enough.
Yeah, he's traveling at 375. But he's got so much experience as well. Nothing against the other riders. I mean, Jaime's got so much experience.
Again, the last line seems to be the
Super round, all the way.
our first clean, like I predicted.
Well, exactly.
Just saying. Yesterday he was second on this horse, where Rodrigo Lambre was first.
Yeah, it was a night round there. Really nice round
Those
for Jaime.
yes, those two switched spots in the qualifier yesterday on different horses, but Jaime won and then Rodrigo was second.
See that horse really careful behind there in the replay. 65.34 as well, that time for reference. And again, if you have just joined us, that time allowed set at 68. Rodrigo Lambre joins us now.
Speaking of,
Yeah. See if history's going to repeat itself. It's Chacal, the 9-year-old by Chaco Blue.
and these are the two that they were first and second on yesterday. So For Fashion was second yesterday, and Chaco was first. Not to jinx him or anything.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'm going to predict a clean round.
Rodrigo Lambre representing Brazil here.
Oh, I like this one. I think this one might need to be on my string.
Might just have to be cautious of the time.
Oh, no! I'm not going to say I jinxed him because I didn't.
Yeah, comes home inside the time, 66.98, but of course just drops that rail off the back of the treble bar at fence 8, and that means he will finish on 4 here, 66.98 and 4 faults for Rodrigo Lambre. So 5 combinations gone so far. Jaime Azcárraga are only clear at this stage with 4 Fashion, but plenty more to come.
Yesterday, our female representative had 1 rail, so today I would like to see her
I'd like to see her
come
clear.
through for some female power.
Well, you won't have to wait long because here she is. Hello, Amelibia, representing Spain with Notre Star de la Nutria. It's my very best Spanish.
Very good. You can speak it more than you will eat it.
Exactly, absolutely. 16-year-old stallion, this one by Quick Star.
Ooh, pulling a little bit.
Doesn't take much to knock those skinnies down. Just a little trip there as well. As I mentioned yesterday, I mean, she's been building up some great experience competing all over the world, you know, around Europe. We've seen her in Great Britain, we've seen her in Denmark and France. Popped up to Canada quite recently. And I think she was at WEG back in 2014.
Yes, she was.
So what do you think's going through her head? You know, she knows she's got that rail. She now knows she's got 2, so what's going through her head may have changed.
I don't know, I might not want to say what I think's going through her head.
Do you think, though, if you do have a single rail in a class like this, they will put a bit of power on and they will try and come home a bit faster?
She didn't, I mean, yes, in some cases. I don't think that is what she was thinking. It looked like the horse was a little fresh pulling a bit today. I don't know if fresh or just a little more difficult today. And that, I think, is probably what was going through her head.
Well, she finishes on the 8:66.44. We know Jaime Escarga is already clear, and in fact it's going to be his son who comes forward next. Probably one of the younger riders in the competition. He's 23, and he's got a great horse called Al Capone. Horse has quite a bit of experience. He's been up to Canada as well, gaining some mileage with this one. Second in the two-star Grand Prix in Mexico City with this horse just last November. I think this is their first show back out, though.
Yes, that's, I think, the last show of the year. They have a national horse show. Oh, smack off the ground. A little more wind today.
He's a really talented rider, but it must help having Jaime as a dad.
Yes.
To have that support and that tutelage all the time.
I'm curious. It would be interesting to interview them to see, do they work together? Do they, you know, does Andres work with a different coach? Not sure if Jaime rides with the coach at this point, if he does some. Or
Well, if he wins,
We'll
we'll ask him. He's got to get over this. And he's going to be fine for time. 67.47. Two clears.
Father, son.
Both from the same family, both from the same house.
Well,
Fantastic.
he is 23. He may not live at home anymore.
I think they're still based at home. They've got the yard and all the facilities there.
Oh, you mean from the same stable?
Yeah. So that jump off then, that is guaranteed. They will be heading against the clock. And we look forward to seeing if it'll be father or if it'll be son or if it'll be someone else completely different. But no matter how close they are, I can tell you one thing, when they come in the ring, they'll be trying to beat each other.
That's right. This is our American representative, Kelly Rose. And this horse has the most adorable face.
Got a great name as well, Clementine.
Hopefully she jumps as well as adorably as her face. We'll see.
Does she compete a lot internationally?
Honestly, I'm just getting to know her at this event.
I think she's done quite a bit nationally. I think she's fairly new to the international scene. But she's from the USA, so you're rooting for her.
And she's from California, I believe.
Well,
Oops. Still a cute horse, though. She was 10th in the class just before this on another horse that I quite liked.
is she a young rider then, is she?
I don't, like I say, I don't know. Let's see.
No,
Oh,
she's
she's in her
36.
mid-30s. Might just have to interview her so she's not such a mystery. I believe she has a training business in California.
You're going to mention you said she wasn't young and she was 36.
Well, I don't know. It's all relative.
Everything's relative. That was a shame to have that one rail because really the rest of the round,
darn.
apart from the last, it was very nice indeed. It is 8 for jumping and a time fault there for Kelly Rose and Clementine, 69.43.
She didn't look particularly slow, so it is, again, a test of track. It's a good jump, that mare.
Just got a little touch long coming down to the last. Well, here's another rider we see on the international stage on a regular basis. You see him a lot in the young horse classes as well, with these 5-year-olds, these 6-year-olds, these 7-year-olds. It is Nicolas Pizarro from Mexico.
Brings along a lot of horses, as well as competing internationally.
This one he has today is just an 8-year-old. Carquilo? Is that what we're going with?
Carquilo?
Carquilo? Sounds Spanish. Taking quite an economic route on the way around. And
Stallion, actually. It's very refined. That's a good jump.
plenty of time. Ah,
Oh, no.
see that coming a couple of strides out.
Heartbreak last jump.
Real shame. Just a little touch with the toe at the last fence. It falls and it finishes on 4. Nicolas Pizarro, 65.50 and 4 faults. Now he is our fastest of the 4 faulters, so we'll find out how that plays. Will it get him into the money though? We'll have to wait and see.
It's too bad. You said you saw it coming. I didn't see it coming, so I'd like to see it again.
Just the slightest
I see.
touch.
Touched long, touched it behind.
Well, it is the Pascual Brothers Cup, and we go now to Patricio Pascual. Of course, based here in Mexico.
Mexico City is where they have their stable.
Of course, he was part of the team that took a gold medal at Nations Cup in Langley last summertime. Winner of the WestJet Cup, the $35,000 competition at Spruce Meadows during their Pan American tournament. That's Pomerel that he rides today.
Yesterday he joined the jump-off group, the qualifying class, on Caress.
Caress, yeah.
I want to say he did 6th there, but I'm thinking that's not possible. Ooh. He's getting thrown a little bit off to the right side. Horse has a lot of spring to his jump. Big stride.
Combination and then Oxer to go. Time is going to be too tight. He's going to be over.
Oh no.
It's over.
He did this yesterday too.
Clear for jumping, 1 for time, 70.09 there for Patricio Pascual. Very nice horse, jumped lovely, and then finishes on a single time fall.
He was slow in the beginning. I don't know if he actually added a stride in that one line, but he certainly added one in the first line. So he seems to be happy with that anyway.
Yeah, horse
Cute
jumped great.
horse. It's a stallion as well. Very nice.
And just an
Quality
8-year-old as well. Well, we're going to take a little trip to Uruguay now. Juan Manuel Luxardo coming next. 9-year-old stallion by quality. Pedandro.
He looks like he spent a little time in the U.S. taking some equitation lessons. He has quite
You
a
guys
nice
do
seat.
lots of equitation, and I think it's really helpful.
Well, the jury's out on it, but I think that a good foundation comes from that. In Europe, it's dressage, but in the U.S., we do a lot of equitation.
A lot of our young riders, our children riders in Britain, you know, they get the sort of pony, they go for training and they start jumping. They don't have any equitation background or hunter background. Or the young riders, you know, people like Lily Keenan and Reed Kessler, and you know, they've all come from that background, and they've got such a great seat, a great position.
Easy Madden as well. A lot of the top riders, well, all of the top riders from the U.S., as I think of all of them, Kent, McLean, they all had equitation backgrounds.
This is a horse that Juan really values. Third yesterday. Well, we'll be adding him to our list. Yes, we will.
Excellent.
65-1-1, Big Pats. Looked like it twisted a little bit over that final fence.
It did. This has been a good show for him as well. He was fourth in the qualifier yesterday and then third on this horse in the class before. So
It's been a great campaign.
Consistent. Fourth on Stan, the horse he won the World Cup qualifier on last year.
Well, 11 combinations have gone so far. Total of 49 in the field here. And we now sit on 3 clears.
3 out of 11. I think my 10 is looking good.
You're feeling confident. You can pronounce the next horse's name then if you like, if you're feeling confident.
In the de Golden Boom.
That sounded great to me. Antero Prada from Mexico with us.
Well, Bayou du Rey. So it's certainly, it's Belgian, but it has some French influence.
Really scopy jump.
Ooh, jumped, got a little tight there.
I think because it's got such a
Came up
long
on
stride,
that.
it's
He has quite a big jump, jumps a little bit past his arc, and then makes the line that much tighter when he gets riding up. And then that was a little long. Good recovery.
well,
Wow.
2 down, finishes on the 8 faults, in within that time allowed, 67.97. So if you had a horse like that, what sort of exercises could you do at home to kind of bring him a bit more together?
Well, a lot of it would come from flat work, just being able to adjust the stride with ease so that when you know that you're coming up to a tighter line, you can adjust your horse's stride accordingly, and then also gymnastics that help to teach the horse to jump a little bit, to learn to not jump past the arc. It also comes from experience.
Yeah, of course.
But it's a very talented horse.
Well, plenty of experience still to come here in the Pasquale Brothers Cup. Guillermo Williams now with Quindayo.
Is that how you would say that? I was going to let you say that one.
Yeah, this one's a 13-year-old gelding. He's got a couple of nice horses on the go at the moment. Finished top 10 yesterday in the 140.
Very nice horse. It knows its job.
Oh, a little tap coming in, got away with it though, I think.
Let's see where we are now.
Yeah, he's still up.
Oh,
His luck ran out, and it's a touch over the time as well. 68.12, so 1 for time and 4 for jumping. Total of 5 there for Guillermo Williams. That must be like Heartbreak Hotel to come all the way down to that final fence.
and we've had a few of those, actually. 3 have had the final jump down. Oh, more than 3, but 2 actually have had the final jump down as their only jump.
But we're going to have a really good jump off no matter what happens. Jaime and Andrea Escarga already through, and Juan Manuel Luxardo. So 3 athletes, 2 nations already represented.
So the challenge there on that last line, it looks like it's a little bit of a tough angle, and then it's also you're thinking about your time allowed, so.
And the black rails. So Francisco Pascual now with the heart winner by Heartbreaker. This is a horse he knows quite well. He was another member of the Nations Cup team that featured out in Langley.
As I mentioned yesterday, it's his EC Marketing that is managing this event, brought this event as well as the GCT to Mexico. And he remains very active in the sport, which I think is good for a manager or a management company. He's not going to be happy with that rail, however.
It looked like he was just pulling a little bit into that Oxern.
And then he jumps the last clean, so he's really going to be disappointed with that rail.
With a really good time, 65.38 and 4 jumping there. Francisco Pascual and heart winner. So that's going to pop him into 5th place, the fastest of the 4 falters. Of course, we've got the 3 clears, and also Patricio Pascual, who sits on 1 time fault. So into 5th for now for Francisco Pascual. Juan Pablo Jimenez coming next. Taquin Dilanatria, 10-year-old stallion by Shalano Zad. He's a rider we see in a lot of the Grand Prix. Now it has just fallen off, but what was the ribbon that he was wearing for? Do you know?
Yes, we were speaking with a rider earlier. Was it the blue?
Yeah.
So there was a steward who had a battle with cancer, and a lot of the riders, a lot of the community in the horse world in Mexico came together to support her, and she was out for a year and now is back. And in thanks, she gave everyone a ribbon that helped her, and asked them, if they would want to wear it, and a lot of them have done so proudly. Fortunately, his fell off, but
yeah. Oh.
Oof.
From the angle we could see, I just don't think he was quite straight enough coming in there. Perhaps we'll see that again in replay. But it's 2 parts, the combination down. It is 8 jumping faults, 65.58 there for Juan Pablo.
Seemed to get there a little earlier than he wanted to as well. Again, it's a little bit of the test of that last line. Ooh, jumped that well.
Really careful behind.
Yeah, so actually they only showed part of it, but he just came up on it in front, so it seemed he was a little tighter there than he wanted to be.
Giaco Siab comes next then with Ducato. This one's a 9-year-old by Staccato. Or Yucato, in fact. Competed all over Mexico this year. I think he spent a little bit of time in California as well.
So a number of the riders from Mexico spend a month or so in California competing. So one time a year, I guess the weather's not ideal. This one has a good kick behind. Really, it's a good
Sort of flicks up.
Yes, good effort behind.
How long would it take to ship a horse from Mexico up to California?
Well, that's a mighty fine question. When I get my string, I'll be the first to let you know.
Oh.
I would think some of them may fly, actually, but It depends from where in Mexico. Actually, Mexico is.
Just roughly. I'm not wanting it to the minute.
I,
It'd be days though, wouldn't it?
mm,
I'm really glad I asked this question.
yes, I know. We'll have to research that and get back to you.
Okay. Well, we'll have a look at the rail that fell in replay, no doubt, but he does finish on a total of 5, 68, 48, and 5 faults there for Jaco and Ducato. I'm always amazed just how big the US is, though, because you can get on a plane and get off 3 or 4 hours later, and you're still in the US.
Oh, yes.
You've skipped a time zone.
Coming from that little country you're from.
Well, Great Britain can fit in Florida, so
Exactly.
I think if you're from Europe, you don't really have that sense of just how vast. Luis Alejandro Plasencia coming next. Shad Dolan. And this is a 10-year-old, and he knows this one so well. He's competed at various venues with it. If I remember correctly, I think he was top 3 in the CSI 2-star at Belvenera. Belvenera, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I believe you. That was back in November. Another horse people might know him for is Salamala di Lanatria. Quite a few Chaco Blue horses
I
in
was
this
just
cup.
going to say that.
So we've done our research, and it's 30 hours apparently.
From Mexico City.
From Mexico
To San
City
Diego.
up to San Diego. Right.
Now, even here, from Mexico City, it's a few hours. Via de Bravo, where the show was last year, it's 2.5 hours from Mexico City. So Mexico's fairly long.
Mm.
Oh, we have a clean rack.
We do, and it was time to perfection. 67.54 even. And Luis Alejandro Plasencia and Shad Dolan join that list. We're up to 4 clears now. And boy, is he in good company alongside Juan Manuel Luxardo, Andres Escarga, and of course Jaime Escarga as well. So 17 combinations gone so far in this one today. $35,000 to play for, and we are off to Brazil next. Rodrigo Lambre and Conticord, 9-year-old stallion by Contefino. Having some great successes. Second here yesterday in the 145 and 4th in the 150 Grand Prix back in November as well. Horse is owned by Mario Agnati. We might be seeing this one a little bit later on. I know we'll probably see him on Saturday in the Longines FEI World Cup qualifier.
You said he was going to ride the horse he was second on yesterday, yes?
Yeah.
Well, this one was nice. Little springy jump. My string's getting a little too big.
Yes.
A little too many to ride.
That's a good thing, though. It just goes to show how many nice horses are here.
Mm-hmm, truly.
Starting to think your estimation of 10 was maybe a little bit better than mine of 8.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll wait and see.
It's always
This
nice
one,
to be able to admit you're wrong.
not wrong yet. Let's have a look at the time. Yes, he's inside 66.55. 2 in a row. Rodrigo Lambre and Conticord. They will come back and they will feature in that jump off against the clock.
So Rodrigo makes the jump off, just not on the horse he won on yesterday.
That's right. Glad you're paying attention.
Interestingly, the horse that went before him that just went clean was the one that had quite a few faults yesterday, that was pulling a bit. We liked it, but it was just not having. Remember when we talked about the bridle and the bit on that one? And today I don't think it was in that one. So, and it obviously went well today. So that was, it's interesting. You know, that's one of the many details you have to consider when you're competing. what the right bid is for that day, not to mention, for that horse, but for that day. And here's an interesting, this is a hackamore. There's no bit in that horse's mouth.
Yeah, this is Federico Fernandez and Picasso.
Figuring out that bit is always one of the challenges, and then sometimes one that works for a while then stops working as it should. Sometimes they show in a different bit, they ride in, there's always a...
So these riders will be traveling with the collection, won't
Yes,
they? Everything they would ever
always
need.
have a collection. So this, is working all from pressure. This type of bridle. So he's controlling the horse through pressure when he pulls on the rein, but not through the mouth.
So it'll be across the nose and over the poll.
And on the cheeks a bit.
Well, it seems to be working today as we come down towards this final fence. We have to
Yes.
keep an eye on the time. He's over.
Oh my!
He is over.
Too bad.
68.75. Time allowed is 68 seconds. So it is one fault there for Federico Fernandez and Picasso.
Interesting name.
He's the fastest of our two one-time falters, though, so he heads into 6. You can see all the clears on the screen there. That's Jaime and Andre Escarga, Juan Manuel Luxardo, Luis Alejandro Plasencia, and Rodrigo Lambre as well.
Another lovely stallion, though, actually. Federico's horse. Quite a few nice stallions.
Well, we mentioned Andre Escarga. He's already got one through, and he's back with another of his rides. This is Contendros.
Also a stallion.
One he took to the Mexico City two-star Grand Prix back in November.
Beautiful horse.
There's not one that's come yet that you've said's ugly.
I just won't say anything about it.
Ah, okay. That's how we'll know. So if you don't say they're nice, we know.
Oh, no.
We
That's
know
not
the
fair.
codes.
That's not fair. Well, stallions, they have a certain shimmer and
Really nice crest in the
look
top
about
line.
them, yes. So they can draw your eye. Wow, good job.
It's always a nice rider to watch, this one.
Yeah, he rode that one line coming into the combination while the horse was a little funny off the ground. Too bad.
You can see him just checking on the way down there. I think he knew he was going to get there a little bit
Yeah,
too.
jumped right at that. Seems to be getting a little stronger. Yeah.
See what he does down to this one.
Oh,
So it's 2 down, it's 1 for time as well, so 9 in total, 68 for Andre Escarga and Contendros. Of course, that last fence has come down a few times, and I think if your horse is getting a little bit long, on course, you're going to have that last fence.
yeah. He got a little stronger as the course went on, and that was part of the challenge.
So 20 gone so far, 29 still to come here in the first round of competition. On Carlos Martin del Campo next, another one who represents Mexico here. Paddington.
Good name for a horse.
Definitely. By Pontifex.
Ooh, little kick there. Oh my.
Well recovered.
That 5 wasn't short for him.
rode fantastically there, though, to get that back. Especially coming into a skinny as well.
Yes.
It's the one fence you wouldn't want to be coming into when that happens.
Pretty much jumped that from a standstill.
Hear him just saying, whoa, whoa, come back, come back.
Oh. Too bad.
To get away with
Shouldn't have
that.
said whoa.
Yeah. What a shame, that really is. Finishes on 4 then, 65-42 for Martindale Campo and Paddington. Well, as you mentioned earlier, Mexico very well represented here. We're going to stay with that contingent as Maria Fernan Hegovic comes next. It's a horse, My Heartbreaker, called Raja.
A little fresh.
I've seen that with a couple, and I think for a few of the riders this will be the first outing of the year. Perhaps the horse has just had a little bit of time off. I know last year she was really consistent at Grand Prix level with this horse.
Oh.
Whoa. Just didn't have the stride, did she, coming down there?
Well, she said she essentially pulled as she got, and the horse said, okay. She was probably getting there a little soon, but
Oh,
my guess is when the horse gets a bit strong and jumps at the jump, so she was bringing him back, but she needs to support that a little bit. So he's just a little fresh and being a little hard to ride. I think she's gonna. She's gonna retire.
I think let's just go home, do a little bit more work, and then come out fresh.
Except not as fresh as
Is
she
it?
came out today.
Yeah, not as fresh as that. The judges actually eliminated her.
Oh, they did.
They did.
For two
think-
refusals?
I think 2 refusals. I think when she
Oh,
rode
right.
past
She
the-
circled. I see.
Yeah,
She already had
circled past the fence.
That's right.
And she hadn't stuck her hand in the air before she did it.
My mistake. I understand.
Not that it really makes too much difference, especially when there's 49 in it.
No, but I had said she retired when essentially she did not.
Javert Fernandez next. Another one for Mexico. This is Diamond Dream.
It's a young horse, 9 years old, coming up from the young horse classes.
Yeah, Mexico's got a great series of young horse classes. So still sitting on 5 clears at this stage. Like 26 combinations still to start here in the first round.
See the horse resisting the bit a bit, and that I think is where that rail came from. The horse is opening his mouth and kind of stiffening when he's pulling.
I think he does have a flash bridle on, but it looks like this horse as well, just opening its mouth a little bit and just pulling forward.
I'm trying to look at
Yeah, it's got a
2 reins.
we
Some
call
sort
it,
of gag, potentially. I can't tell.
looks like an American gag, I think. You maybe call it something different over here, though. Well, Javert Fernandez then finishing on 13, total 69.46. See that skinny jump nicely over there. It's got some nice movement behind. Just not his day. Well, just having a little look around. About to be getting underway. It is Simon Samari Farka with his 10-year-old Buy for Pleasure.
He's only twice his horse's age, so he's on the young side.
Yeah, he's just 20.
2 youngsters in this combination.
But of course, we've got the FEI Children's International Classics here this weekend, and going by the talent in the young riders, I mean, I think it's looking very promising, and so many nations are here as well.
Yes, 13, and it's been a good competition. Canadians have shown well, and New Zealand, and it's, you know, they're riding horses that aren't their own, and they're all 12 to 14, so it's been impressive.
When we had a look at the track, that was the line that, you know, kind of stood out as being difficult. So
Oh, interesting approach there. He
Went-
he went out and in.
So he finishes on the 4 then. 4 jumping faults in 63.65. Just the plank comes down,
Too
of
bad.
course. Those planks on very delicate flat cups. Just has to take a little touch.
But I think his ride to the last jump, considering he had plenty of time, was a good choice, because I think he broke it up into 2 lines, and we haven't seen many riders do that.
Patricio Pascual there, making his way through that Longines arch. And this is Keres, a horse that we saw yesterday. Quite a strong field yesterday. 6 making it through to the jump off, and this was one of the horses that were there. Keres and Patricio Pascual for Mexico. Another member of that winning Nations Cup team for Mexico at Langley last year. I think this would be one of his better horses, if not his best horse.
It's one of his top horses, and it's interesting that he's taking it today, assuming he's going tomorrow. Possibly not. We'll see.
Perhaps if it felt a little bit fresh or strong yesterday, he just wants to.
I'm curious, or if he's choosing to take another horse in the class tomorrow.
Sounded like he gave that a tap, but I think he got away with it.
Definitely taking a tidy track.
Yeah, okay, for time. Knocks are still to come. And he's done it. He's clear. 65.44 for Patricio Pascual and Keres. We're up to 6.
Pascual brother is clear in the Pascual Brothers Cup.
Yes, he might be getting the lion's share of his own prize fund.
And his brother number 3 is coming in soon. Not next.
That will be a good jump off when we get there. All ingredients are there already, and I'm sure we're going to see another few come forward. Out in the arena, you can see our arena party, who work tirelessly, have jumped into action, and they're going to be taking the rails out. But there's the clears we have at this stage. Jaime Escarga for Fashion, Andrea Escarga, Al Capone, Juan Manuel Luxardo with Quindandro, Luis Alejandro Presencia with Chantolan, Rodrigo Lambre with Conticord, and Patricio Pascual with Keres. 24 partnerships still to come through that Longines Arch here in the first round, and then of course we'll be going towards that jump off against the clock. It'll take the team out there just a few moments to get the track ready, so we'll take a very short break and we'll be right back with you here on the FEI YouTube channel in just a few moments' time.
estamos listos para continuar esta 1:45 presentada por Banorte de México. Recibimos al número 26, Gerardo Pasquel, que monta a Urso Tizo. De Imaginaria, Pablo Vizcaíno, y listo Guillermo Huina.
Welcome back. We pick up the action once again. As you know, we've got 6 clears and we've got 23 combinations left to come forward. Gerardo Pasco Menez comes forward next. He gets us back underway with the 9-year-old gelding, Urso Diazo.
So this is the third of the Pasco brothers that ride. There's quite a few brothers actually, but the three of them ride. And he's younger than Patricio and Francisco. And I was speaking to Francisco yesterday, and he did not start it as a child like they did. He's only been riding for 5 years. So for him to be at the international level is commendable.
Both of those come down. Just pulling on a little bit.
Also, in speaking yesterday, he owns the horse Big Red, which is quite a talented horse. And the horse is currently in Europe showing with Steve Gordat.
Ah, okay. I think as he came down there, he just knew he had the wrong stride.
Like I said, you know, it's 5 years seems like a lot of years, but it's very few, and to be riding at a level like this.
Well, the clock stops at 83:31, so 20 becomes the total there. Gerardo Pasquale. So staying on those 6 clears for now. I think you're going to be right with your 10, you know.
You do?
Oh yeah, I think we're going to have more than 8.
I like it when you say I'm right.
Got some great riders still to come. Sofia Leria, Nikolai Heinross, Gonzalo Escarga coming back with another one a little bit later on as well. Just about to get underway. Pablo Vizcaíno and Nick is a 13-year-old gelding. So just having a little look around. We've seen quite a few grey horses in this class, and people are chatting on the FEI YouTube channel and saying, how do they keep these grey horses so clean? You got any top tips?
Oh my. There's several products out there that help with the grey horses in particular. I'll do some research.
Do some research. Imogen says she uses purple shampoo.
Yes, purple. It is purple. I don't think it's called purple shampoo. I'll come back to you on that.
How something purple can make anything grey, I've got no idea.
Chemicals, amazing things.
Really nice round all the way around towards that plank.
Quicksilver.
Just came to you there, did it?
Sadly, since I haven't had my string, I haven't been working and getting my grays clean in a while.
And the last comes down as well, so it's 12 faults and 66 and 94.
Also one of our young riders, potentially still new at this level.
He's also very tall. Do you think that kind of sort of can be a hindrance almost?
Well, I think, you know, it's interesting. I once interviewed Charlie Jane from the U.S., who's also quite tall, and the biggest adjustment for him was that he wasn't, when he shot up in high school, so at that point that adjustment was difficult, but then once
you're tall, you don't tend to get much shorter.
Well, and you
until you're old.
Exactly. But you at that point learn to ride, for your height. So it's
Well, Guillermo Williams with us now. Maraganis.
Just as a shorter rider like this, has to learn. So there's different adaptations. But when you get to this level, you've become quite good at those adaptations. Just some of those taller riders always look big on the horse, so you wonder how that feels. I don't know. I'm not tall.
He finished 8th yesterday in the 140 with this horse.
He was in earlier on the Chestnut as well, right?
Yeah, he was, yeah. It's his second ride in this one. You can see he's got a set of blinkers on this one. And in the past, it was big, kind of sheepskin, fluffy things. I think these,
Oh my
whoa.
goodness. What happened there?
He's going to have to circle away and rebalance. Do you think these kind of shorter sort of blinkers do a lot of good in the ring?
I can hardly see it, honestly. Clearly if he's using it, it must help in some fashion with.
So he just popped a circle in there, rebalance, comes round and finishes on 13 in total, 85, 1-0 and 13 for Guillermo Williams. So we have the 6 clears. We've got 2 on 1-time penalty as well, making up the top 8. But at this stage, Jaime Escarga, Andre Escarga, Juan Manuel Luxardo, Luis Alejandro Plasencia, Rodrigo Lambre and Patricio Pascual all coming back for that jump off against the clock a little bit later on. And I think even with those riders, I think it's going to be a fantastic jump off, but we've got some great ones still to come.
We had a broken rail here in that. Yeah, wow, interesting. He just did not
It's almost like you didn't
leave
see
the ground.
it.
Yeah.
21 combinations still to come forward then. We're going to go to Brazil now. Rodrigo Lambre, Chataga, it's a 12-year-old mare. Second in the 145 back on Wednesday.
It's his 3rd ride in the class.
And a busy boy.
Ooh. A little squirrely down to that one, looked like. Good jump there.
Taking a little check off the corner. You can see him really just having to hold it together down the related distances. He's got quite a big open stride. Yeah. Nice jump though.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be okay for time. Justice Oxer to jump now. And he's done it.
Yep,
He's
he's
safely
clean.
through. 67.46. And he will feature in that jump off against the clock. Very, very well done to Guillermo Williams and Maraganis. So we're up to 7. 7 clears we have, all progressing to that jump off against the clock. Do stay with us here on the FEI YouTube channel, and of course you can join us tomorrow on FEI TV for the Longines FEI World Cup jumping in Guadalajara. Really scopy jump, big stride, and a great clear. Rodrigo Lambre coming next then. In fact, it's Juan Pablo, isn't it? Juan Pablo Mares Torres. Competed at several Grand Prix at the back end of last year. We saw him a little bit earlier in the competition with the first horse, and now back with Relic Lucia just having that very unlucky first fence. Not a great start. What goes through your head, Jackie, when you have that first fence down?
Well, I suppose it varies. In this class, you know, you still have a chance to be fast and potentially ribbon with a 4 fault score. So that's the only advantage of having an early rail. Although a lot of people would say you should always ride as if you're going to have a rail, in the sense that your track should be efficient. Oh, too bad. And the horse just pulled and got flat right across, jumped at that. I think he's going to call it a day.
Yeah, it's a horse he knows quite well, and it's got a lot of experience. So as you say, on 4 faults, he had a chance of a place. But as soon as that second rail came down, he knew that he was out of contention, and quite sensibly saves it for another day. He's got some great horses. I'm sure we'll see him back here very, very soon. 17 combinations left then. 17 left here in the first round.
We should mention that this is the Pasqua Brothers Cup, but it's sponsored by Banorte. And that's a very strong sponsor here at this event. They also sponsored last year at Valle de Bravo.
There's the results, and there's our clears at this stage. And you know it's going to be a really quick one. If you were with us yesterday, then you'll remember Jaime Escarga having a win on Anton, a horse that he knows inside out. And he'll be coming forward to the jump off with Far Fashion, but we'll find out if we're going to see a different winner here at Guadalajara. Luis Alejandro Plasencia already safely through with Shad Dolan, and now coming back with a different ride. Da Vinci. This one's just a 9-year-old stallion, but boy, does it have good breeding. It's Verdi, that's the sire. Concord on the dam side. Horse just having a little buck there. You can see him just having to take that extra check, and you know, I think it was really the buck that sort of put him off there, and he tried to take the track, he tried to get it rebalanced, and just wasn't enough time.
It's the first time that jump has come down, but he really just kicked it out.
Yeah, these walls always look solid, but actually, you know, they're made up of tiny, tiny blocks.
Now the question, will he continue for the miles with his 8?
I think that decision just lies with what the horse has done. And
this is a young horse, 9. Did you say that already?
yeah. And I think with a 9-year-old, it's nice to see, you know, there's a lot of atmosphere here. There's the VIP to look at, the video board. I think he made a sensible decision just to keep on going.
Yeah.
Finishes on the 8 faults, 67.92.
Interesting. He looks. A lot of horses are like that. That they're not going forward and they're not riding to the jump, and they'll peek at things. Yeah. Good buck.
Manuel Senderos next with another 9-year-old stallion as well. Loteano. I love Ito. About 15 combinations still to come forward here in the first round. We've Got another tip for grey horses, apparently using Head and Shoulders shampoo.
Oh, really?
Apparently.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know that.
It's from Jenny.
This one has a very lofty, big jump. This is not, he's just gently leaping over these. Lovely.
Ileana Case is watching in America. Don't forget you can get involved with the conversation using the live chat on the FEI YouTube channel.
I might just breed this one, I think, for my string.
Okay. He's going to have a time fall though.
Oh,
And the last rail. Change your mind?
No.
No? Okay.
No. I like the horse.
70.14. Yeah, it's got a really scopy jump. I don't know if he just could have taken a more economic route or whether it was it just hangs in the air a little bit. And maybe just adding that up all the way around took him over the time. But it's five in total, 70.14.
It's a young horse, so if you let it take its time now, it's
Pays off later.
it'll learn.
Juan Carlos Martin del Campo making his final preparations. Back with a second horse. We saw him earlier on. He's back again. He showed all over Mexico last year. This is a 12-year-old mare called Rafali.
Also one of our younger riders. I don't know if they have a U25 division here. I don't think in Mexico they do, but in the States, they've adopted that division. That's become quite popular in the last few years, that they have something like it in Europe. And so these riders are able to compete at a meter 40, meter 45 level and compete against their peers as opposed to the veterans of the sport.
Sure.
Wow. Jumped way up over that one. Kick that out behind. Just actually hit it behind and kick it, but didn't jump across it. Swinging a little there.
Well, he clears the last, just the one rail. You can see the look of frustration. But it is 65.11 and 4 jumping faults there from Martin del Campo and Rafali. So 7 clears, 7 return, 14 left to go.
Uh-oh.
No, I think you'll get closer to 10.
Yeah, see, he just didn't even clear that with that. The left hind mostly, where he wants to swing. See, I think he swings a little bit right, and that left hind gets lower, and that's how he caught that rail. That's something you want to work on.
What sort of things could you do to work on that?
Again, you know, just different pole placement and exercises, flat work is important, you know, figuring out why he wants to do that. Pushing off harder on one leg. Is it in his back? Is it, you know, there's several, you just need to investigate.
Well, we can see our next rider getting mounted in the ring. He'll have had permission from the ground jury, of course, to mount in the ring. And we go from Juan Carlos to another. This is Premier, Juan Carlos Alvarez. 14-year-old mare.
Same age.
Same age.
As the previous rider.
And if I remember correctly, I think he was either top 3 or he won the class on Wednesday.
I believe he won, yes. There's a photo on Facebook. But yes, he did win the class on Wednesday, but he will not be winning the class today.
No, that's a shame.
So what is he thinking, you ask? Now he's thinking.
Seems to have sped up. Well, maybe not actually. Looked like he was going to be speeding up there.
Let's see if he's.
And at this stage, 4 faults could still get you in the money.
Oh, but not
on
the
eight.
8.
Olaf Peterson, our course designer here, and I think some of the riders, even if they have faults, will want to keep jumping because it's a great experience to jump courses designed by someone like Olaf, who builds at championship level all over the world.
Not his day today.
No, quite. 62, 68, 16 total there for Juan Carlos Alvarez in Premier. Well, we're getting down towards the final 12 or 13 coming forward here this afternoon. Of course, don't forget to join us tomorrow as well for the Longines FEI World Cup. That won't be on the YouTube channel, though. That will be on FEI TV.
You do need to subscribe to see it.
It'll be
Another
worth it.
important note on that is if you want to watch it live. Unlike the YouTube channel, it is not on replay. So catch it live or come down to Guadalajara.
Yeah, fly in.
Has an airport. It's only a little over half an hour from the country club, unless you hit traffic.
Well, Nicole Meyer Robardo with Hercule, a 10-year-old stallion.
Another female representative. Excellent.
It's not a rider we've really seen out in Mexico too much, but I know when she's here, she's always campaigning on the national stage, and of course now up into the international division as well.
She's quite young. She's the youngest in the class, I would imagine. She's
Just 16.
just 16. She's having to ride the pants off the horse a little bit.
To be fair, she's doing a great job so far.
And it's a stallion, and it's not. It is white, but it's only 10, so it can be deceiving because sometimes you think a white horse is older, but this isn't. Just a 10-year-old. Yeah, she's really riding it.
Such focus. Just one fence left to go.
Very good.
Clears the
Excellent.
last.
Excellent.
67-37.
Well done. Young and female representing.
And talented.
Very. She rode that really well.
The big smile says it all. Horse is going to have a numb neck. She's that happy. She's getting huge pats down there.
Look at her smile.
Happy horse, happy rider. And she is through. At the moment, our only female in the jump-off. Be so nice for a 16-year-old to come out and win this.
Yes, wouldn't that be fun? So we're on our 8 clean now.
I said 8, you said 10. We'll have to wait and see.
What did we bet on that? That you have to eat a spicy Mexican meal if I win?
Let's decide once we know. Jose Alberto Martinez with Sultan now. Right, who's been on good form
Or a
here?
cricket or two?
Or a cricket, yeah. Still can't believe they had crickets and legs, and eggs and grasshoppers as a dip for nachos. We have cheese as a dip in the UK. Yeah, it's a rider who's been on good form here. He finished 3rd yesterday in the World Cup qualifier. He's no stranger to the World Cup finals, of course. They've been held in Omaha this year, in Nebraska. But he featured there in 2010 and 2011.
For a young, he's only 28. He has a lot of miles.
He does a bit of travelling. Competes in Canada, the US. Seen him over in Europe as well, in fact, in Denmark. They've got some really good national competitions here as well, haven't they?
They do, and I was thinking, you know, we've been talking about how they've increased the number of FEI events and how that helps the sport, the country, the riders. But the riders that travel to Europe, it's important to get that experience too, even if it's not all consistently, just because then you see what the rest of the world is doing. Ooh,
Super
interesting.
round. 64-45.
There's 9.
There's 9.
Taste some cricket now, can you?
Well, we add it to the list. There's Alberto Martinez and Sultan. It means absolutely nothing here in the first round, but he is the fastest clear we've had so far. Not too many left. Like 10 after this one. Cisco Lamelin now.
He's quite color coordinated. He's got his blue stirrups, his blue trim on his pad, and the blue on his helmet. And then a little bit of blue trim on the bonnet on the horse. Very fashionable.
Well, this horse is Limoncello. It's a 12-year-old. Not been a bad week for him either, in fact. Winner of the $7,500 Grand Opening Cup on Wednesday. I think we might have 11 or 12 clears now, to be honest.
You do. Sticking with my 10. You don't get a second chance, though, I'm just saying.
Gonna have to keep a little eye on that time.
Nope, not going to be in the time.
Nope. That's a shame. Rode a really nice round.
Actually, 2 time faults.
2 time faults.
She really, and actually I was thinking it was seeming kind of hunterish.
Yeah, sort of picture perfect rather than forward. Of course, it is 375 metres a minute they have to travel at here in this competition. And it's 1 penalty for every 4 seconds or part thereof. So he finishes in 72.16, and that'll equate to 2 time faults. Maybe one of the most experienced in the competition here this afternoon. Rado Pascual has been gaining the mileage. We're expecting Mario Ognati, but perhaps he'll be coming a little bit later. But this one has been gaining some mileage. Placed in a few Grand Prix.
This is
Riding
a
the
young
150s.
horse as
Yeah,
well.
this one is young, yeah.
Just 9. Nice. Oh, she's taking a bit of a wide turn there.
Just fighting a little bit round the corner. Jumps nicely through the combination. Coming down to the final fence. Time's looking tight and he's over.
Oh,
69.05.
that wide turn, it got him.
One-time fault there for Gerardo Pascual. He finishes on one. Heads down into 11th place, so still in the money at this stage. But sadly not through to that jump off against the clock.
So now a 4-fault score is unlikely to get you it's not going to get you a prize, is that true?
49 in it, so there's going to be, if we do start all 49, yeah, it'll just be 12 prizes, yeah.
A couple have not gone, so I don't know if we're going to have the full 49.
Minimum of 12 prizes. Fabian Sijanis coming forward next, representing Argentina.
Another stallion.
Yeah, this is Santa Rosa Selecto.
This is a La Silla horse.
You see quite a few La Silla horses competing internationally.
Yes, I mean this is a breed that originated here in Mexico and has done quite well. Daniel Blumen had one that he went to the Olympics with, the La Silla horse.
So a few good places in the Grand Prix with a couple of different horses recently.
I went to the States and there's a Santa Fe circuit, a few shows there, and also Colorado. Oops, came up on that a little soon.
Yeah, quite a difficult line down there. And I think he's going to call it a day. Gives a signal to the jury and elects to retire there. Fabian Sijanis with Santa Rosa Selecto. He obviously decided the horse doesn't need the education and the mileage, and having that rail maybe popped him out the money, so he decides to save it for another day. So we stay on the 9 clears at this stage here in the $35,000 Pascual Brothers Cup.
We have another female representing
grey.
here.
This is Sofia Larrea. Remitz Delphi, the 9-year-old. Got some heartbreaker lines on this one.
She's in her mid-20s. She has a young face.
Better than being the other way around.
Yes, that's what we say.
Yeah, she's had some great experience over the years, though. She's represented Mexico at Nations Cup level. She's competed in Austria, Netherlands, Italy, Canada, and of course the United States as well.
It'd be great to have 2 females in the jump off. That's my vote. Considering definitely the minority here.
In Mexico in general, or just at this show?
Yes, definitely. Cute horse. I like it. It's also young, 9 years old.
Trying to ride every single stride.
Curls around the jumps. Pleasant expression.
Going to be too slow.
Oh, too bad.
69.21. Another round that was kind of picture perfect, but just could have been a little bit more forward.
Equitation looking ride.
But you know, as a 9-year-old, you've still got to be happy with that, haven't
Yeah,
you?
she seems pleased with it, and It's quite lovely to watch. Just a little slow.
Rodrigo Gomez still to come.
Here's
Bruno Passaro. And Nicola Heinross comes next. Zavango.
Nikolai rides for Denmark, but he's been living here in Mexico City for several years. He works with the Pascual brothers. Very talented rider.
Yeah, this one's owned, in fact, by Gerardo Pascual.
The horse I mentioned earlier, Big Red, that now Steve Gardot is riding, he worked with that horse and took it to its first meter 60 Grand Prix in Saugerties and was second to BZ Madden year before last. He was the only other one to jump clean. He had 2 time faults, and BZ was the only clean. It was a tough, tough course. He rode that quite well, but the horse wanted to leave the ground and jump at that jump a bit. Held it off the jump well. It's just quite talented rider. The horses like him.
He's going to be okay for time.
Yes, see, it's a smart ride. You can't try to make up that time in that last line. You need to do it beforehand.
Way before you get there.
Does that make 10?
That does make 10. But I think we might get one more, you know.
We do have some good rides coming.
66.21, and of course clear there for Nicola Heinross and Zavango. So 10 combinations coming back. 6 left to go here in the first round. Then we will be going to that jump off against the clock. One of the other riders that have already qualified a horse for the jump off is Gonzalo Escarga. This is quite nice. It's an 11-year-old mare.
I thought it was Andre. I don't think has he ridden today? Gonzalo?
I haven't seen him, to be honest.
So this is just the 3rd Escarga, but don't think this is his first ride today. I think. Andre had 2.
Yeah.
Jaime had run. So we just need to get the 3rd Escarga into the jump off. Oof. Is he the youngest? No, he's older than Andre. He's 26 and Andre's 23.
Really pulling him down there.
He's taking a wide turn here, so the horse is quick across the ground, but I'm a little concerned for time faults.
Yeah, he's got 10 seconds to get home.
Good.
Going to be fine.
Oh, he did it.
67.59. He was close. He timed it to perfection. Gonzalo Escarga, quite nice, heading through to that jump off.
Every Escarga is joining us for the jump
whole
off.
family. So we're up to 11.
11. So what does that mean? Does nobody win?
Nobody wins.
Darn.
Better luck next time. A huge jump that horse. Hector Caro now. Another one from Mexico. Horse has got a good name. It's called Craig. He's ridden to Nations Cup level for Mexico in the past.
Also a stallion.
Lycanchuro contender on the dam side.
I hear some classical music.
I know, it's very relaxing.
It went from top 40 to classical. It's nice. Not that I don't like top 40. I'm not.
You're not that old, are you?
I'm not that old. I was going to say that, and I thought, should I not say that?
There's a nightclub in the hotel we're staying at, and last night about 3 a.m. they managed to go from the YMCA to hard dance in one fair swoop.
I
Don't know
am
what
that
kind of
old.
party it was.
I am too old for that. Oh, here we have 12.
64-17. We're up to 12.
Craig makes it to the jump off.
Good old Craig. Of course, they stay in the same order as we see them go clear in the first round. Some quick ones near the end as well, so that'll certainly add the pressure on. Jaime Escarga gave us that first clear. Right up in the top 3 or 4 horses to go in the competition. But a really strong field. A couple of pulled out, so 47 will be the total number we're going to be seeing here today. Bruno Passaro will feature with Urbana.
This is a young mare.
Rider who went to Rio. He was at the games there.
Not on this mare, I don't think.
No.
But yes, he has some good international experience. Also quite young.
Yeah, he's done
27.
a lot of travelling around Europe and stuff for the horses, and Argentina, US. Ridden at Nations Cup level as well. So take a little check down the distance.
Just United around that corner. Had a rub, but stayed up. Had a few rubs.
It's okay for time. Clears the last.
Wow.
It's going to be a good jump off. 65-32. He's through as well. Bruno Passaro and Urbana.
So the last 4 in a row have been clear. Blowing us both out of the water there with
Yeah, I
our
think so.
prediction.
Always difficult to tell at the beginning.
Okay, so I'm going to do 15% of 47. Let's see.
Let's see what it is. Jose and Ginaccio next with Chili Pepper. Some good traditional lines there. This one with Nimidor on the dam side. It's a 12-year-old stallion. Here on Wednesday, they had a metre 30 grand opening competition. There was over 100 in it. And I think he finished second.
15%.
Are we?
Oh. Oh, we had a rail down.
That's the plank down as well. So sitting on 12.
Good name for a horse.
Urbana.
What am I looking? I thought it was chili pepper.
They're just confusing you. Yeah, it's Chili Pepper.
Oh.
Coming down to the last. Finishes on the 12 then. It is 66.34. And he finishes on 12 faults.
You just don't want to think about chili pepper, do you?
No.
You want a horse to be called steak and potatoes.
Burger and fries. I'm going to be adventurous tonight. I'm going to have some Mexican food.
Are you?
Gotta
No, we're
try
going.
it.
We're not going.
You're not going to tell me we're going to a burger bar tonight.
No, we're going to a seafood place.
Oh. I'll have an early night. Right, 2 left then. 2 left to go. 1 for Brazil, 1 for Mexico. Then we head through to that jump off and things really hotting up here in the $35,000 competition that is the Pascual Brothers Cup.
Tenemos en la pista de Brasil a Filipe Marcondes que monta listo. La imaginaria Rodrigo.
Of course, the competition here presented by Banorte. This is Filippo Gallino and Descenso, 9-year-old stallion by Cardento. Presenting sponsor of this one, Banorte, of course, a bank here in Mexico.
Too late.
Making a really nice shape over those oxers.
Another young stallion.
It's great here in these 4-star competitions that there is a 145, so you know the riders can take the top horses, do the World Cup class with that, and then also be producing the other ones up through their string. All the way around to the kind of final line and having the first 2 parts down. So he finishes on 8 and 1 for time as well, 69.39, so 9 in total there. It's not his day. Will we get one more clear?
This is our last.
It is. Standing in the wins, Rodrigo Gomez with Bonami.
Bonami, that's another good name.
Very
I like
good
that
name. I think there's more than one Bonami jumping internationally.
Ya tenemos en la pista el último jinete de este recorrido representando a México, Rodrigo.
There's Rodrigo there making his entrance. An 11-year-old by Untouchable.
A nice trot.
See him just having a look round and reminding himself of the track because it's been a while since he got a chance to walk.
Yeah.
You know, about an hour and a half or something since they were walking the course.
Well, I would hope he's been watching.
Might have been watching.
Should have a good plan. It's a lovely horse.
Majority of the horses this afternoon have been immaculately turned out as well.
This one might have to be on my string.
Is he going on the list, is he? You like this one?
Ooh, that was lucky. Came down on that a little bit. little heavy in front and a little pulling. Pulls a little over the jump. Makes a big effort.
Yeah, you can see through the distances he really has to sit back and just rebalance.
Lands a little front.
This one's voice activated. He didn't say up at the last one. Final
Too
part of
bad.
the combination. It falls and finishes on the 4. 65-90
Oh,
for
they
the
played
time.
the music.
They played the music. Thought what's going on? But sadly, he did hit it, regardless of what
Yes,
music they
they
played.
did. He did. And they did.
So he finishes on the 4. But it's going to be a fantastic jump off.
Yes, it
Really
is.
strong field. You were closer to the number.
I was.
You guessed 10, I guessed 8. And we've got a few more than that coming back from the jump off against the clock. $35,000 up for grabs here. Pascal Brothers Cup presented by Banderetti Bank. Fantastic supporters, and there's the start list. Jaime Escarga, yesterday's winner. Andre Escarga. Juan Luxardo, who's always quick against the clock. Luis Alejandro Plasencia. Rodrigo Lambri's got some great international experience. Patricio Pascual. Rodrigo Lambri actually has 2 horses coming forward into this jump off. You can see near the bottom of the list some of the riders who jumped a very nice round indeed, but just a touch over that time allowed. So have you got any indication who's your money on?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I started to think, I mean, Rodrigo has a fighting chance with 2. He can be fast.
Well, if you're going with him with 2, I'm going to go for the Escargas.
I was going to say, there's a good chance a Escarga can win. Okay, well, I'll go with
Anytime.
Jaime could impressively be fast and unbeatable going first in a large jump off like this, but I would say that he is at a disadvantage. I've seen it happen, but with this many,
And this
trying
many
to
quick
beat him.
ones as well. We're going to find out what happens, but it is a total of 13 combinations that will return for this jump off against the clock. You can see just out in the middle there, Olaf Peterson in the blue shirt, him and his team making the preparations for that jump off against the clock. They do a little bit of work on the surface as well. And we take a short break, but we'll be right back here on the FEI YouTube channel. Welcome back then as we get set and ready. It is the jump off against the clock, and it is 13 combinations that come back to fight it out. Olaf Peterson, of course, is our course designer. Been preparing some great tracks over the last few days. Olaf Jr., of course, still travelling all over the world, building at championship level. And we're about to have a look at what he's got in store for them here in this jump off.
The last two jumps of the jump offs are two that weren't in the first round.
And this is going to be a good pathfinder.
Yes. I think he'll try to set a difficult time to beat. By the way, I wanted to say, since you picked Azcárraga, you get 3, so I'm picking Rodrigo on 2, and then Nicolai as my third.
And Nicolai, okay. Deal.
Okay.
Well, here we go. We get underway with that jump off, starting over the Oxer, fence number 10. Then we can see the combination has been reduced to one single upright, so it's a big powerful Oxer galloping down towards a delicate upright at fence 11. Then they roll back over the first fence.
Oh, he has a rail.
Drops the front rail there, so sits on 4 over fence 1. Longines double, upright, 1 stride, then Oxer out the related distance, down the line to fence number 6, and then 2 efforts left. And these both these fences are new.
Oh, 2 rails.
So that's the Oxer, fence 14. And then this is the last.
Right in the shade there.
And it's finishing on 8, 36.57. That's our first to go. Just has a couple of rails. I think that really is just a horse that's going to be produced up through the levels. And it's had a little bit of time off, of course. It's the Azcárraga family's first show back. But we're going to go from one Azcárraga to another. This is Andre Azcárraga, Al Capone, the 11-year-old stallion representing Mexico. So I'm sure he'd be at the gate watching Dad. Do you think they share tips out there when all
Well, I'm
3 are in the
wondering,
jump off?
they didn't seem to exchange anything on their as they passed. So, but they potentially would have made their plan together. We still have 2 chances to be interviewing one of them.
It's just at a slightly steadier pace.
Nice turn there.
You can hear the crowd whistling
Yes.
and shouting, go, 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 because we're coming round towards the last.
Well, he's clean.
He is clean, 36.56, and
Oh,
the
he-
standard has been set.
He beats his dad's time by 1/100th of a second.
And leaves the rails up. Yeah, he'll be really happy with that. If I'm honest, I think the time can be beaten.
Yeah, I agree, but he also had to set a standard.
Yeah, never easy going at the top. Very nice round, and of course now we have a chance and a time to beat. It's 36.56.
Well, this is a good one. Neither of us picked that we may end up
So representative
regretting.
of Uruguay, Juan Manuel Luxardo and Quindandro.
It's quite good.
Went really nicely for him in the first round.
He's going to win for the equitation. The jump off.
Yes. Probably about a similar speed to Andre. Andre landed out of here in 21 on the other side of the double, so we'll have a look. Maybe like a couple of tenths of a second up, but if he wants to take over the lead, he's going to have to really push on now. Jumps that, and then he has to gallop. He has to go all the way down to the final one. 36.56, the time to beat. Oh, not going to be quite quick enough. 37.66. Still a really nice round though. Slips into second place. But Andres Garriga still leading the way.
0 puntos en 37-66 para Juan Manuel Hurtado.
Luis Alejandro Plasencia now
Segundo lugar hasta estos momentos.
from Mexico.
Little strategy at the back gate there.
Final instructions have been given, and he's ready to get underway with Shadolan.
There's Antonio Mara giving him some words of wisdom.
He said, go fast and leave the jumps up.
Now this is looks like the same bridle as yesterday. Great blaze on that horse's face. Let's see if he can blaze through the jump off.
Ah, see what he did there. Quite a big
I
stride.
think he did 8 there, while the others have done 9.
And quite an economic turn there as well. 36.56 is what we're chasing, landing out of here in 21. Yeah, probably about half a second up at this stage if he can just keep going. Got to get the tight turn here though.
Oh, I saw that coming. He just did not come out of that turn like he had wanted, and he didn't put his eye on the jump.
Just didn't lock on, did he? Horse was kind of almost
He's
looking through the
disappointed
fence.
in that.
Yeah. He was about half a second up, but it's all about risk and reward,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's what happens in the jump off.
So he'll get 4 jumping faults for the refusal, and 6 seconds will be added on to the time.
When he made that turn, the horse didn't seem to quite get underneath himself in the turn behind. He maybe slipped just a tiny bit, but he just did not come off that turn.
And then comes down to this final fence. And that's a shame. The refusal, the 6 seconds added into the time there, and he finishes on 45.26, and just the 4 there for Luis Alejandro Plasencia and Shadolan. So no change at the top. Andres Garriga still leading the way, but that horse can jump, can't
He
it?
really can. That was gorgeous. Yeah, see, he just was not. The angle was a little, maybe a little too much. There's a couple things there that just didn't quite connect. But like you said, risk and reward.
Off to Brazil now, Rodrigo Lambre. He's got 2 horses coming forward. This is the first of those. It's the 9-year-old Contacard. He's got the 12-year-old Chataga to come.
So if he wins on this horse, you'll have to ask him how he keeps his gray horse so clean.
So clean. He'll probably say by having a groom.
This horse is quick.
He's only got, because they stay in the same order, he's only got 1 horse between his 2 rides. So some of the other riders may elect to move up the order,
Or may not.
or may not, in which case we'll have to fill.
How
He's
could
up
he?
on the clock. It'll be karaoke time, and I bet you do a great Dolly Parton. Right, this is,
Ooh.
I was going to say it's quick, but
Yes.
he's taken that back rail.
Yeah, and that turn is a little tough to come where you want to be. Too bad.
Super time, 35.52, so caught the time over a second faster. But again, just has that back rail. It's not the widest Oxford, it's been left quite narrow, so they can get the turn over it. It just came down on the back bar.
Well, he was a bit long and flat, and that's the risk you take. Again, that was what was there. He didn't make a mistake per se, but the long jump just, of course, got a little flat and caught it behind.
Well, we go from Brazil back to Mexico. Patricio Pascual now with Keres. Jumped very well yesterday. Really enjoys being in this ring. And it's a horse that likes to stick its tongue out. off and running. 36.56 to beat.
He did 8.
Can already hear some whistling. Saying, come on, gotta get a move on. Remember out here in 21 to be in touch.
Yeah.
About neck and neck, but I think he's got to push on a bit now.
Now I see how he rides this turn.
A little bit wider there.
Yeah, and it rode better though. But he's going to have to gallop here.
Not going to be fast enough. 37.57. 1 second and 100th of a second over our current leading time. So he goes into second place. Patricio Pascual and Keres. And Andre Escarga still up at the top.
It seemed quick, but I think a little bit of a wide turn to that Oxer is where he lost a little time because he was right at it when he came off that
Yeah.
combination.
Bruno Passaro still to come. Hector Caro, Gonzalo Escarga, Nicola Heinros, Jose Alberto Martinez. And of course, you're going to be seeing Rodrigo Lambre possibly next. As we mentioned, of course, one of the other riders may choose to elect and move up that order, but that's completely at their discretion. There's the leaderboard at this stage with the 3 clears on screen.
I'm interested to hear what the ride is like to that last jump. It is completely in the shadow, so I don't know if that causes a little bit of hesitation at all, or so we can ask our winner.
And the sunshine's quite bright in the middle as well. You know, as they come over that Oxer, it's quite bright, and then everything's bright really until they get to the fence.
So here's the filler. You're singing or I am?
To be honest, if you can do a Dolly Parton, I think that would be great.
There's nothing of Dolly about me in voice or stature. So I think we should.
So who do you want to do instead? Answers on a postcard. But you can
I will. Speaking of Dolly, she did something commendable recently. When there was the terrible fires in North Carolina, where Dolly Wood is. She contributed quite a bit of money to help with the people and businesses that were devastated by that fire. So I can't sing like her, but I can give her
a little
a
credit.
shout out. Yes,
I'm sure she's watching.
I'm sure.
Well, there's the VIP area. The Team Mexico. So look, we're on the telly.
I'm sure they're watching us there too.
Yes.
And look, there's people watching from their porches, and the building above. The building literally borders the ring.
Yeah, they're getting some free entertainment here this
For a
afternoon.
bird's eye view.
Well, we know at this stage it's still 36.56 to beat.
All right, Mr.
And a
Lambre.
quick changeover. Rodrigo Lambre back with Shataga.
8. Whew, that was a turn. He's right at it as
Yeah,
well.
Not far away at all.
Ooh, flipped himself there.
It's all about the turn in the final line. He's got it now. He's got to really go. It's close, but it has.
Oh.
Not quite quick enough either. 36.63. Just has that final rail down.
Oh no, I only have one
Only one of
rider
your
left. You
choices.
each have one rider. We each have one rider left to beat. What's now your winning rider?
I'm quite happy just sitting up at the top there with my winning rider, thank you. What have we got? Mexico has got 4 left to come. Argentina and Denmark as well.
We still have our female representative. She'll be in the ring next. Our young rider, very young.
Nicole Meyer comes next. Again for Mexico with Hercule.
A young stallion.
She's just 16, Nicole, isn't she?
Yes, she's the young 16-year-old. Now I'm curious to see how fast this horse wants to go.
Well, it's going to take some beating. So often running 36.56 to beat 21 seconds out
Good
of
ride
the
there.
Longines double. Nice angle,
Oh,
but
too bad.
is the touch close, I think, coming in.
Hard to tell, but
But you know, for a 16-year-old to come in this ring, she's putting on quite a performance.
she is. She's quite talented. Seeing a lot of her.
So 39
39
seconds.
even.
Yeah, it's time. One comes down and is 4 jumping faults there for Nicole Meyer and Hercule.
Good run.
5 combinations left to jump off. Has Andrea Escarraga done enough? There's Jose Alberto Martinez with Sultan. Next to contend. They're whistling already, he's not even started. Mexicans are always really encouraging for their riders, aren't they? They're always shouting, they're always cheering.
They are. They're a very
Passionate.
energetic crowd.
Let's have a look as he lands out of here.
Quick.
He's quicker. He
Mhm.
is quicker.
I want to say he left out of stride in that first line, but sometimes I don't trust my counting when I'm looking at other things and such. So.
Well, 36.56 time to beat. If he leaves this up, he's he would have had it. 34.23, smashed the time, but took out that final rail as well. That was a shame.
And I want to say that the shadow does play a role. It just seems they go. First of all, they have to go right into the crowd, and then that's definitely a challenge. That last jump.
2 for Mexico, 1 for Denmark, and 1 for Argentina, all still to feature.
There goes Nikolai.
And we're off to Denmark now. Nicola Heinross and Zanvago.
Okay, Nikolai.
This one's just a 9-year-old, but you know, I still think he'll give it a good go.
You can tell from the first line how he rides that first line is going to tell us what he plans.
This one might be quite deceptive because it's got such a big stride.
That was lovely there.
Yeah,
A little bit ahead, but tight. Oh,
it's the ups and downs of
that
show
was a little bit of a
jumping.
green. Just didn't pick up his hind end as he started to make that turn.
I think he might catch the
Beautiful
time though.
ride there.
36.14, yeah, he did catch the time. But of course, just having the top rail of the vertical and finishing on the 4 jumping faults there, Nicola Heinross and Zanvago. That was one of yours, wasn't it? That was one
Yes,
of your
that was my
picks.
last.
Your last pick. Well, we know Andrea Escarraga is up at the top. Gonzalo Escarraga is about to come forward now.
Lifting up his spur a little there.
Quite nice 5s. The name of the horse is an 11-year-old mare by Quality.
Time Trying to beat your brother.
Yeah, exactly. This is where relationships get left at the gate.
Horse has a little bouncy stride. Going to be quick across the ground, I have a feeling. Yes.
I think it's genetic to go quick. Because the whole family are quick riders.
Yes.
No.
Oh. He got there a little sooner than he thought he did, I think.
What do you think's worse, riding against your brother or riding against
That's your father.
your husband or wife?
Or your father.
Or your father? I always think riding against your wife or your husband would be worse.
Well, the money all goes to the same place.
Maybe in your house.
Maybe.
I just slave away. 38.15, it's 2 down and it's 8 jumping faults there for Gonzalo. The family's got a great string, they're all really talented.
Yes.
It's just not his day today,
Nor his father's, actually.
nor his father's.
Tenemos en la pista número 12 representando a México, Héctor
You think we've seen our winner?
I have to say I don't know the final two riders well, so I can't make a prediction. I'll try to predict if I think so when they do the first line. How's
I
that?
thought you normally just guessed. Hector Caro comes next. It's grade 3, the 12-year-old stallion.
A pretty stallion, I will say.
Pretty stallion. Handsome stallion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have to say, when Andre went clear, I didn't think he would have done enough to take the class, and a couple have managed to beat the time. But it's been that last fence. But it's not over, far from over with 2 left. Let's see what he does.
So I did one extra there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a little weak. So the fastest horses have done 8 in the first and 11 in that turn. He's a little wide there. Of course, he already has the rail.
Well, fast 4 faults will still get you some good prize money here. And he finishes on the 4 in 38.96. And that leaves 1 left to go. So will it be Argentina or will it be Mexico? We're going to have to wait and find out. 30s. 36.5, 6 time to beat, 21 seconds out of the double. For some reason they're playing Mission Impossible. Bruno Pissarro now, last to go. Best of luck to him. 36.56, that's the challenge. He's having a look around because he knows he's got to take the turns. He knows he's got to keep a really consistent, fast speed all the way round. Pressure is on. Got to be clear, got to be quick. He was just having a look at that turn back to the Oxer.
This is a young horse. Let's see what he does down this first line. Makes it in the A quite easily.
Yep.
Oh! Oh, oh. Too bad. That was a little scary. I usually grab when I'm scared. I didn't grab you that time. I couldn't see it happening until it was happening, so I didn't have a chance to grab.
And the first part of the double comes down as well, so it is confirmed Andre Escarga takes the win here today. Of course, his dad Jaime had a great win here yesterday. It's certainly been a good few days for him here at Guadalajara. And it's 8 jumping faults. 45.89 for Elastico, Bruno Passaro, and Urbana for Argentina.
Para Bruno Passaro y Urbana de Tiso, que quiere decir que el ganador.
Well, at the very top, second to come forward was Andre Escarga. I didn't think he'd gone fast enough, I'll be completely honest. I thought someone would come and beat him. The time was beaten a couple of times, but then that last rail comes down. But another nail-biting jump off here at the 4-star Guadalajara.
Wow.
Got a chance to see that again. Just didn't have the stride. Well, there's that result. Andre Escarga takes the win for Mexico, 36.56. Just a touch over a second slower, finishing in the second place with Licio Pascual and Juan Manuel Laxardo in third, 37.66. With some great names in the top 8, and of course further down the leaderboard as well. And we've got more sport to look forward to here at Guadalajara. And of course looking forward to the Longines FEI World Cup jumping Guadalajara, the qualifier of tomorrow. Going to be a strong field for that one.
Yes. And we should note that today's class, it was the youngest Escarga that won of the 3. So we congratulate the youth.
Yeah.
And in tomorrow's class, moving on to tomorrow's class for a moment, it will be at 3:30 Central Time.
Yeah.
Before that class is the children's, no, is it before or after? Let me look. The final for the children's actually will be at 4:30 Central Time, the Children's International Classic, and that will be on FEI YouTube tomorrow.
But if you want to watch the Longines FEI World Cup qualifier, then you're going to have to subscribe to FEI TV, and boy, will it be worth it, because there's so many good competitions.
1:30.
1:30
Sorry,
for that one.
I was mistaken. It's 1:30 Central Time.
Well, we can hear in the background as the ceremony music begins, and we get ready to welcome forward our top riders here in this 1m45 competition, the Pascual Brothers Cup. $35,000, so still earning some world ranking points as well. A number of world ranking competitions over the days here at Guadalajara. Of course, the venue we are in, the Guadalajara Country Club.
Lovely place, a lovely day. There's a little sponsor love with the Audi balloon.
Audi balloon.
And it was Banorte who presented this class.
Yeah, Banorte Bank, top banks in Mexico.
A great class.
Great class, absolutely. And we've got lots more to come as the days continue. And of course, the last day of the actual show is Sunday.
Yes, there'll be 2 more classes on Sunday, a 1m35 and a 1m40-45 class to wrap up a week of great show jumping. And today, this wraps up today, this class. And then we'll be back tomorrow, again with the class at 1:30 on FEI TV.
And there's such a huge audience that watches these broadcasts now, because not only on FEI TV, you know, I think it's going to be on sports channels all over the globe as a recorded, you know, broadcast for that'll go out and be transmitted, you know, next week or the week after. So,
however, if you aren't available, if those are not available to you, tomorrow is your chance to watch it live.
yeah.
Bueno, hoy sí la limpian bien, güey.
So here we're seeing some replays. That was quite a long one. But jumped well. It's interesting to watch the slow motion, what happens in between and how the horses each go differently. The goal is the same, but every horse is a little different. Every rider is different. Men and women compete equally, both horse and rider. Although in Mexico, it's a little more dominated by the male. Here's our equitation rider, Lazardo. Very balanced. It's Rodrigo Lambre. Oh no, that was not Rodrigo, that's the Chadolon, Placencia. Had that unfortunate stop. Look at how beautifully he jumps that jump. He jumps over the standards on that jump.
Really scoopy.
Lovely horse. And
Misses
there it shows what happens. He just did not quite get. It was too long, and then he was right on top of it. So, just happens in the jump off. And then here, that horse switches leads before he left the ground there, but didn't seem to bother. Jumped that well as well. I like that horse. That's Rodrigo's. And then he's going for the long one there, and that's where he has his rail.
Arms and elbows.
Yep. And not a bad rail, not just caught it behind. It's a little long, leaving the ground. There's Patricio, finished second here. And Cares. And they round the corner. With a good time, but not good enough for first, but is second today.
While final preparations being made out there in the warm-up as they get ready to welcome forward the top riders here in the 1 meter 45 Pascual Brothers Cup, presented by Bandretti Bank. Don't forget to come and join us on FEI TV tomorrow for the Longines FEI World Cup jumping in Guadalajara. But we'll pass you over now to the arena commentators who will take you through this presentation ceremony. It's been a great afternoon. Thanks for joining us up here. And we'll see you again very soon here at Guadalajara.
Y bien, estamos listos para la inicio de la ceremonia de premiación de esta prueba 45. Y el ganador de esta prueba representando a México, Andrés Azcárraga, que monta Al Capón. Le voy a pedir al público se ponga de pie para entonar el himno nacional de México en honor a Andrés, ganador del día de hoy. Gracias, gracias al público. Y vamos a recibir a Marian Aguilera y a César Romero, representantes de Longines, que van a felicitar al ganador de la prueba, Andrés Azcárraga. Invitamos al señor Juan Manuel Cosío de la Federación Ecuestre Mexicana. Y bien, invitamos al licenciado Rodrigo Lazo y al licenciado Salomón Chidán, miembros del Consejo Directivo del Guadalajara Country Club. Bien, van a pasar ahora a felicitar al segundo lugar Patricio Pasquel, Marian Aguilera y César Romero de Longines, Juan Manuel Cosío de la Federación Ecuestre Mexicana, el licenciado Rodrigo Lazo y el licenciado Salomón Chidán, miembros del Consejo Directivo de Guadalajara Country Club. Van a felicitar al segundo lugar de esta prueba, Patricio Pasquel con Carelles. Al tercer lugar de Uruguay, Juan Manuel Luzardo con Quidandro. Felicitan al cuarto lugar de México, José Alberto Martínez Vázquez con Sultán Ducupé. Quinto lugar de Brasil, Rodrigo Lambré y Contecort. Y a nuestro sexto lugar de Dinamarca, Nicolai Hein con San Paco. Y bien, vamos a pedirle al ganador de esta Banorte CSI 4 estrellas, Andrés Azcárraga, nos haga favor de encabezar la vuelta de la victoria. Andrés, ¿te sabes el camino? ¡Vámonos! Agradecemos a las personas que nos hicieron el honor de premiar esta prueba. Les presentamos al ganador, Andrés Azcárraga, Patricio Pasquel, Juan Manuel Luzardo, José Alberto Martínez, Rodrigo Lambré y Nicolai G, ganadores de esta CSI 4 estrellas. ¡Vámonos, Andrés!